It's.com, surf shop, surf shop, surf shop. It's.com, surf shop.
Surf's up on science.
It's.com, surf shop.
Hey, I'm trying to get your attention. I'm trying to talk. Did you get my message? I have something that I want to communicate. Everybody has something that they want to say. Have you ever talked and felt like nobody was listening? Hey, knock, knock.
Who's there?
Are you there? We've been using spoken and written words since the beginning of time. Drawings have been found written on stones that show how early civilizations told stories of great victories in battle. Today, with the telephone and with computers, like those here at the surf shop, we can instantly talk to our friends around the world. Talking, or sending and receiving a message, is known as communication. Everybody and practically everything tries to communicate something. Did you know that even animals talk to each other and to us? Whoa, wait, down, boy. We'll talk later. Communication has changed over the years, but there's one thing for sure. There are a lot of ways to transmit what you want to say to someone. Do you know how people, animals, and machines talk? Do you know why we communicate or why there are so many different ways to communicate? There's really a science to it all. Did you know that you were born because someone really wants to communicate with you?
What?
Well, Link, let's find out. Let's go surfing. Hit it, Chip. La 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 la.
Just warming up my vocal cords.
Those are the parts of our bodies used to sing and to talk. The best way that humans know how to communicate is by speaking. But we're not born knowing how to talk. Otherwise, your baby sister wouldn't be crying like that. Babies cry to tell us that they're hungry or tired or sick because they haven't learned how to talk yet.
As I grow, so will my lips, teeth, mouth, lungs, vocal cords, and tongue. All parts that I need to speak. When I speak, air from my lungs passes through my larynx, or voice box, then through my vocal cords. Vocal cords are a pair of muscles in the voice box that form a V. When air passes through them, they vibrate and make sound. The more air, the louder the sound. When I speak, the larynx tilts and the vocal cords stretch. The more they stretch,
The higher I talk.
or I can relax them and talk really low, 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 low.
Your vocal cords are sort of like these rubber bands. They make sounds that travel through the air. Singing is done the same way as speaking, only with different rhythms and breaths.
When you laugh, the diaphragm muscles, which are connected from the bottom of your rib cage, contract. And because something's funny, you start to laugh, and as those keep squeezing back and forth, you get the pattern of a laugh, which goes ha 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 ha.
The tongue is the most flexible muscle in the body. Can you do this? Our flexible tongue can help us say a lot of words. Teasingly tongue treat, teasingly tongue, teasingly tongue, teasingly tongue treat, teasingly, you try it.
Teasingly tongue treats. Teasingly tongue treats.
Teasly tongue treats. Teasly tongue treats.
Teasily tongue treats. Teasily tongue treats. Teasily tongue treats. Teasily tongue treats. Teasily tongue treats.
Teasingly tongue treats. Tingly tongue treats. Teasingly tongue treats.
Okay, your turn.
I can still talk without using my tongue. That doesn't sound the same. When someone says that we should hold our tongue, they don't mean with your fingers. They mean that you should be careful with what you say.
Communication isn't just about talking. We have to hear what people are saying to us. The hearing process involves the eardrum and the hearing bones in the inner ear. It all begins with sound waves moving through the air and going down the ear canal to the eardrum. The sound waves hit the eardrum and make it vibrate.
You can make your own eardrum at home. Take some plastic wrap and stretch it over the bowl, like this. Now take a rubber band, you know, vocal cords, and wrap it around the plastic. And make it really, really tight. Now take some salt, put a lot of it on, and make a lot of noise. Communication! As the waves move, they go to the cochlea, your inner ear. It changes sound waves into nerve signals which go flying to your brain. Your brain reads these signals and whammo, you hear.
Some people aren't able to hear or speak. It's a little bit harder for them to communicate, but you don't have to be afraid to try.
Hearing aids like mine are tiny machines that help me talk on the phone, listen to music, and understand conversations. They fit right in my ear so you can hardly see them. Another way you can communicate with someone who is hearing impaired is by reading lips or using sign language. Sign language uses hand gestures and symbols. Somebody wants to communicate with you. Hi.
Some things can cause hearing loss, even an ear canal packed with wax. But earwax is really good for you. It helps prevent ear infections. It is made at the end of the ear canal so it moves out on its own. So remember, don't put anything smaller than your elbow in your ear.
It's the concert shop.
Did you know that your body can talk to itself?
I need you.
I need you too.
The nervous system is sort of like this train turntable. It sends messages in all different directions. And your nervous system is made up of your nerves, your brain, and your spinal cord. Nerves are constantly gathering information about your body by noticing changes. They do things like notice changes in your energy level. Or they alert you to things that cause you pain. Oh, ow! Or they make you react to something that somebody says to you. For example, the nerve impulses from your eyes and your ears may be telling you that a train is coming. The engineer is yelling at you to get out of the way. Get out of the way! The nerve impulses sends this information to your spinal cord, which then moves the signal quickly to your brain. The brain then translates the information into a thought like, hey, if I don't get off these tracks, I could get hurt. The brain then fires a signal to your motor nerves. Your motor nerves then tell your muscles to take action. Ah, legs! Let's get out of here! There are ways to tell others how you feel without even using words. You can convey messages to someone with your body language, and you may not even know you're doing it. Only 7% of a message that you send has to do with the words that you say. The other percent involves your vocal tone and your body language. What did you say? What did you say? What did you say? So, what do you think these kids are trying to say? As you can see, everyone can communicate, even those who can't hear or speak. The same person that made our tongues to form words and our ears to hear music and to hear each other has made us all to be communicators. He's even answered the hows and the whys that we ask in science class.
Why?
And now, a great communicator.
Jesus was a great communicator. When he was on earth, he spoke to thousands of people at one time, even before there were sound systems. He talked to people in ways that they could understand him easily, no matter how educated or how old they were. He spoke using parables. No, not a pair of bulls. Parables are stories that are told about people's experiences. He would talk about an idea like, God really loves you. Jesus spoke to many farmers and he told them, if you lost one of your sheep, you would be really excited when you finally found it. That's how God feels about you.
A letter in a snail mail still takes days, but a communication revolution's here to stay. Today you can send a message on the net,
And it only takes a couple milliseconds to get.
so now you've got a way to talk to your brother. And it doesn't matter if he's in this town or another.
That's what's so cool about communication.
You and I can talk from all across the nation. But we don't need to speak to communicate. Singing, dancing, and drawing are great.
I can smile at you and you can smile back too. There are many different things that we can do.
You can even see the animals get in the act. It's a part of God's plan. That's a fact. We communicate to God every time we pray. It's true, we can talk to him every day. He listens to every single word we say. And we know he'll never, ever turn us away.
God talks to us through his holy word.
That's where his promises can be heard. Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so.
They're talking to you.
So, the next time you want to be heard, just speak right out.
Communication is the word.
Well done.
I'm trying to talk. I'm trying to communicate with animals. All right, that's enough. Although they may not have a conversation with us, animals have been given the ability to talk with each other, and in various ways with humans. Communication for animals is not about words and sentences and grammar. Sniffs and licks and tail wags and grunts and dances are some of the many ways that animals send a message. The same God that made us to talk with each other has given animals the ability to communicate.
Why?
Well, Link, let's find out. Let's go surfing. Hit it, Chip. Communication is important for birds. Many birds would starve or lose their way or not be able to find a mate if they couldn't talk.
Yeah, I didn't do it. Did you do it?
I saw him do it.
And Jake talks. He doesn't have the same type of, thank you very much. He doesn't have the same type of anatomy as we do. We have vocal cords in our throat that help us make our sounds. He does not have any vocal cords. He does all of his speaking and noises by moving air through his throat. It's quite a mystery on how they can talk. They are the only animal on the face of the earth that can learn any human language. Isn't that right, Jake? Isn't that right, Jake?
Okay, what happens when two frogs go after the same fly? They get tongue-tied.
I think somebody's after me. I've got to get out of here. I think it's a gator. Hey!
Canada geese and bobwhite signal a gathering call when ready for flight. Other birds sing to defend their territory or to attract a mate. Hi, you're pretty.
You really think so?
You're looking at me, aren't you?
How you doing?
Here, fishy, fishy. Here, fishy, fishy, fishy. The ocean is filled with thousands of animals of different shapes and abilities. For humans, it's pretty difficult to communicate underwater. But animals that live underwater can communicate. What I meant to say was, you ever wonder how they can talk with their mouths full of water? You ever wonder how a fish can hear with its ears clogged? Let's find out.
The largest animal on Earth is not only the largest, but the loudest. The blue whale is so enormous in size that it can go to 94 feet long, the size of a 9-story building. To communicate, these whales sing various whale songs. Their low frequency can be heard under the ocean from miles away. The humpback whale's song may last to 30 minutes. The toothed whale whistles when attracting a mate or looking for lunch.
If we listen carefully, we might hear the gators communicating. Alligators and crocodiles actually make calls.
I'd like to order a large pizza with anchovies.
Alligator calls range from threat calls, "Look out, human at 3 o'clock," to calls of courtship. "Hey baby, what you doing Friday night?" They have over 20 different sound patterns to send messages. Let's listen to the top 3.
Okay, basically the sounds you're going to hear today, you're going to hear hissing, you're going to hear bellowing, you'll hear a jaw slap. These are all forms of communication. Another form of communication for the alligator involves no sound. The male alligator will touch the female during courtship, gently nestling his chin against her body. She's arching that back, she's moving that tail, and she's telling us we better not approach any closer. Got a little too close. A large male alligator will actually sit down at the edge of the banks and he'll shake his entire body, making this bellowing sounds, and this attracts females and sets up a territory for that large male. It sounds like D flat on a tuba, very low sounding. What we're trying to do is get these baby Yukari caimans to make a sound called a yerk. And they use this sounds to call the mom to the nest site to help dig out the eggs, possibly release them from the nest site. And then the mother, of course, escorts them to the water. So we'll try to make the sound and see if we can get these baby Yukari caimans to respond.
Hey, yorking is fun. Can you do it? Try it. Meow, 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 meow. Come on. Meow, 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 meow.
York, 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 york. If you have a pet, you know what it's like to have special feelings for it. But did you know your pet can actually tell you what he wants or what he's feeling?
The first thing you have to understand is that dogs have a lot of language ability. In fact, their language ability is equivalent to that of a human 2-year-old. That means to say that the average dog knows about 160 words. Most people will tend to say, well, look, if a dog's wagging its tail, he must be happy, but it doesn't necessarily mean that. If the tail is very low between the dog's legs and is wagging very slowly, that may mean that the dog is feeling insecure or unhappy. The single most important thing which you have to teach your dog is his own name. So proper grammar for talking to dogs is lassie come, lassie sit, lassie down, that sort of thing. If not, then you're going to say something to your family member like, come over here and sit down. Well, how does lassie not know that you had given her 3 commands? Come, sit, and down. There are a number of different barks which you get from dogs. The most common barks are ruff, 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 ruff. And that's called a pack bark. You usually get that when somebody comes to the house. There are other barks. There's a play bark, which is an invitation to play, which really sounds like something like ruff. And then there's some excitement bark.
Here's another animal joke. What do you do when your dog swallows a book?
I don't know.
Take the words right out of his mouth.
Hello? There's nobody there. A telephone being used correctly is one of the greatest communication tools ever invented. It's easy to keep in touch with family and friends through the use of the telephone and the internet. With all of the technological tools today, we can send our messages around the world.
Shalom, bonjour, hola.
Do you know that you can talk to someone who really loves you, and you don't even need a phone?
What?
Friends like to talk to each other and keep in touch, even if they're far apart. Before the telephone and the internet were invented, people used many different ways to talk to their friends. The American Indians used smoke from their fires to talk to other camps. And the Romans built towers every mile along their roads and shouted messages back and forth for hundreds of miles. It was kind of like a giant game of telephone. Caesar's heading this way! Caesar's heading this way!
Caesar is heading this way!
Oh, gotta go.
Do you want a Caesar salad today?
Inside the handset of your telephone is a unit called a diaphragm. The diaphragm takes your voice and turns it into electrical impulses. These electrical impulses travel across wires and up to satellites and across repeater towers to your friend's house. In your friend's house, their telephone turns those electrical impulses back into your voice so they can hear you talk.
And now, a great communicator.
Samuel Morse was the inventor of the Morse code. He heard about an invention called the telegraph. It allowed letters of the alphabet to be sent one at a time over a wire and decoded at the other end. Samuel invented a code that was a series of long and short taps which came to be called the Morse code. The first message ever sent across the country was, "What God hath wrought."
It's .com surf shop.
I know how to use the internet, but how does it all work?
The internet is the term for all of the computers in the world that are connected together and that share information. That means you can communicate with anybody in the world who has a connection to the internet. Your connection begins with your modem. Now, modem stands for modulation, demodulation, which are just fancy words that mean modem works kind of like a telephone, except that instead of voice, a modem changes data from the computer into electric impulses, which then travel across the phone lines and into a computer known as a server. Hey, let's follow that email you just sent. A server is a computer that sends information like your email to where it needs to be. Every computer on the internet has a number called an IP address.
Hey, I heard of that. It stands for Internet Protocol.
Yeah, that's right. IP addresses are made up of 4 groups of numbers between 0 and 255. Your email goes from server to server until it gets to the one where your friend's email is stored. Hey, this looks like where your friend Meg gets her email.
Whoa, Meg must be checking her email right now. We're going through her modem into her computer's motherboard. Look, we're on her screen.
Hi, Chip. You should check out the website I sent you.
How do I do that?
Just click on the Chip. The internet has all kinds of websites out there, but not all of them are okay to look at. So if someone sends you an email, make sure you know who it's from before opening it or clicking on the links.
Meg sent me this one. I trust her. It's a page of dancing hamsters. It's funny.
You want to know something? Light and sound travel at different speeds. Light travels at 186,000 miles per second. That's 7 times around the Earth in 1 second. Sound only travels at 1/5 of a mile per second. Radio waves are part of the electromagnetic spectrum, which means they travel at the speed of light. Sound waves do not. That means I get to hear the music of this concert before the people actually at the concert sitting in the back row.
What'd you say?
Every radio and TV show ever broadcast is flying away from Earth right now at the speed of light. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to finish this concert. On a movie screen, there are 24 individual pictures or frames that are shown every single second. At that speed, your eye hasn't finished looking at the first picture, so it keeps it in your mind and it combines it with the next picture. The pictures then look like they're moving. That's called persistence of vision.
While movies have 24 frames a second, TV has 30.
This is a television control room where TV programs are made. Now, TV pictures have got to travel a lot further and take up less space. The signals are transmitted on radio waves. Now remember, there are 30 frames that are made each second on your TV, which means that by the time you're done watching this video, you will have seen 54,000 frames. Satellites are becoming increasingly important in worldwide communications today.
Satellites can be used to send out to the whole nation television programs, radio programs, telephone information, cellular telephone, computer information, the internet. Even spies use satellite to send their information out, and you receive it back on dishes that can be 38 feet down to that size.
Like this one?
No, not like that one. Satellites work by transmitting microwaves from dishes, like the ones behind me, up into space to satellites that are orbiting the Earth, which then transmit the signal back down.
Do you see all the fun ways to communicate? Isn't it amazing how even animals can talk?
Do you know what's even more awesome? The greatest communicator there is wants to talk with you and be your friend.
He made each and every one of us to talk with him. In fact, he made the entire world of communication. You just talk to him, kind of like you do your friends.
Yeah.
Cool. Yep. He wants to talk to you every day. He does that through prayer in the Bible.
Jesus wants to know all about you and answer all of your questions about life. He loves when you ask him, why? You see, science is a way to explore all the cool things that God created. You don't even need a phone or a satellite dish to talk to him.
If you want to know more about Jesus and some really great stuff about God and science, you can find the Surf Shop on the World Wide Web.
If you want, I'll send you some great communication about communication. Oh, one last thing that we haven't talked about yet. A very, very important part of communication is to know when to stop talking.
It's .com Surf Shop. Surf Shop. Surf Shop. It's .com Surf Shop.
Like, duh.
Communication! Teasling tongue treats to...
Surf's up on science.
Communication is the word.
It's .com Surf Shop.